This is a quick win episode of the Learn It, Do It podcast. One topic, to the point, real value designed for you to put into action right away. Let's go. Hey guys, welcome back to this quick win episode of the Learn It, Do It podcast. I'm Pete, joined as always by my lovely wife and co-host Ree. And today we're going to talk about something that we really all need to abide by. It's a strict rule that I think that everyone needs to implement in their business.
Yeah, we need to stop working on the weekends.
They always say you're working for the weekends, and we're going to tell you to stop working on the weekends. And the reasons are plenty.
Absolutely. I mean, I think it's something that we hear all the time when we're talking to other business owner friends or even clients we work with, that they're working on the weekends. It happens actually a lot with a lot of the subcontractors we work with. And it kind of hit us the other day when one of our subcontractors was like, oh, I'll get that to you first thing, or I'll get it to you on Friday, end of day Friday. And I said, end of day Friday or first thing Monday morning are the same thing because I'm not working on the weekend.
Right.
And it really hit me that not everybody takes it that seriously. And we've been in that boat before, right?
Right. And here's what happens is I've said it and I've done it, and I'm sure you've said it and you've done it, but we say, you know what? I really want to get ahead. I really want to take this time on my personal weekend to get ahead for the next work week so that I will accomplish what?
More, I guess, is the idea. But the reality is there's no getting ahead, right? There's always something else that's going to fill that plate. And so really what we end up doing is just continuously working forever, right?
Right. And like, there's nothing tangible about the term getting ahead. Unless you actually have like a list of things where like, this is all I ever have to do and then I'm done when I'm done, that you can get ahead on. But getting ahead doesn't make you more money. Getting ahead is not freeing up your time, especially if you're using your personal time to try to get ahead.
Absolutely. And I think, before we go any further, I just want to note, like, for some people, the weekend is a different set of days, right? We used to be in the wedding industry and weekends were our work week.
Right.
So whatever the weekend is for you, if you have a busy weekend where you work during that time, the idea is that you're just not working 7 days a week, right?
Right. We're using the weekend terminology as your time off, your personal time for you.
Right. And I think it's important that you take 2 days off every week because, really, what are we working for, right, Pete?
Yeah. We're working for a better lifestyle. We're working for what we set out when we started a business. We all wanted something better. We didn't want to be cube monkeys. We didn't want to be working our butts off for somebody who didn't really care about us. We wanted to set the tone of what we're going to do, and we wanted to go out and accomplish it so that we could give a better life for ourselves and a better life for our family.
Absolutely. So I think one of the biggest reasons why I think it's important to kind of take time off of your business is it reminds you of why you're doing your business, right? Yeah. Like you just said, we don't, work all the time so that we can work more of the time. we work so that we can live the life that we want to live. And if we don't take the time, especially on those weekends, to enjoy the life that we've afforded ourselves, well, you're going to get burnt out really quickly.
Really quickly. You're going to bring the stress of the week right into the weekend. You're not going to be able to recharge your batteries. It just goes on and on about just how it's going to just overwhelm you. And sometimes you feel like you have the energy, like, I'm so excited to do this. I want to this weekend, we're going to just put our nose to the grindstone and get into that marketing plan that we've been putting off because we've had clients and meetings and all this stuff. And that's not the time to be doing that.
Right. Something that we did, it was even just last weekend, we thought we were going to do that, right? We were like, we'll take our weekend time and see, we're still victim of it. So it's not, we're not coming here saying we know all the answers. We just learned this lesson and we remind ourselves of it consistently. So just last weekend, we said to ourselves, we're going to really get into our marketing plan so we can get ahead and, we'll plan it out over the weekend. And, we just had a baby and we ended up, just kind of getting distracted and enjoying our time with our new little one. And Monday morning hit and we decided, okay, well, we did actually take the weekend to enjoy our time. And because we had that fresh perspective and that separation, we came in on Monday morning and we absolutely nailed everything that we've been trying to kind of boil down and get to, something we've been mentally holding for a really long time. And it wasn't until we had that space and really enjoyed our weekend time that we were able to come back and find that idea right away.
Like, you definitely need time away from your business. They always say the best ideas will come to you when you're in the shower or when you're on a walk or when you're just doing something that you're not actually thinking about what you're trying to do. If you sat down on your weekend time or your personal time and said, I need to get this creative idea out, well, you're going to get stressed out. You're going to procrastinate. You're going to waste all that time and you're going to be worse off than when you started. But if you just take a fresh breath, you leave your work on your desk and you go enjoy life, well, guess what? That idea will undoubtedly pop into your head. It'll just come to you.
Right, right. It's when you're most relaxed where it will have the space to actually come to the top. And so, I think as you kind of take that time away from your business, you're going to realize why you do what you do and enjoy that more. It's going to remove some of the stress of your business because you do have that break from it. And also you're going to have more energy. I think that's hugely important. The more we kind of pour ourselves into our work and just stay in it consistently, we're draining ourselves. We don't realize it, but we are.
And the other thing I want to touch on are personal relationships, because when you're a self-employed business owner, your business is always in the forefront of your mind, because it's where all your money comes from. That's where your life comes from, because you're trying to get ahead. You're trying to achieve what you're trying to do. So you let these personal relationships fall to the wayside, because if someone's not helping you with your business, you see them as, oh, they're not totally relevant. However, that's completely untrue, because you need your support system, whether they support you in your business or they're just there to be great friends or family members to you. You need them to help you build a solid foundation so that you know that you can build the confidence, so that you can go out and do what you need to do. It just gives you that kind of peace of mind and makes you feel a lot better about what you're doing when you have a great relationship with a lot of people.
Right. And I think, the more that you can cultivate those relationships, the more that you'll enjoy and appreciate and look forward to that free time. I think we're in a unique situation. I'm sure there's others out there that are in a husband and wife business, right? So for us, especially before the baby came, it was so easy for us to kind of stay in business mode all the time, because our business partner was also our life partner, right? So, it would be weekend time and we would be, all about brainstorming. And now, I think with the baby, it's also allowed us to kind of have that fresh perspective of that's not what we're doing right now. We're focusing on family. And so with that perspective, we thought this topic was, really relevant and important for us right now. And I think for a lot of us, out there, you might not work with your spouse, right? So if you are working all the time or your brain is always in your business space, that's something that's not on the mind of your partner. And so it can create kind of a disconnect in your relationship. And it's so important that we cultivate these relationships, because again, why are we working?
Once again, this is the point I wanted to make. Our goal here is to create a better life for ourselves. Yeah. And life is not just your business. It's not just your work. It's life. So people say the work-life balance. I'm just thinking about my life. How is my life going?
Yeah.
What do I need to do to get to be the person I want to be? And I'm not putting myself into little boxes saying, well, I'm work Pete, and I want to say how overall, if I can step back, are my relationships great with people? Mm-hmm. Am I doing the fun things I want to do? Am I accomplishing what I want to accomplish with my business? All of these things are things you need to look at. And if you're just on that one track mind of, oh, I need to get ahead, I need to just, kind of just put my nose down and ignore everybody. And sometimes you have to do that in order when you're building things. I understand situationally.
There's moments for that.
We're talking about the overall scheme of things here when you're a business owner.
Absolutely. And I think, when we're in this self-employed space, I think it's so easy to, make your business it feels like your life, right? Because you get to choose what you're doing. You're in control, as right. we say, which we'll get to in another podcast.
The dreaded term.
We're in control of our life, which, has positives and negatives to that, which we'll get into later, I'm sure. But I think, because we're self-employed, we feel like our business is our life. It is, a baby of ours. And so it ends up kind of bleeding into the other things and into our other space. And so, we've made a rule for ourselves and, especially new year, new rules, new commitments. I'd love for some of you to try and commit to giving yourself dedicated time off.
And a way to start doing this is to stop any and all client correspondence when it's personal time.
Oh, this is my favorite rule because I was so good at breaking it.
Because I think we've touched on this before, but I'll keep talking about it because it's very important, is that if you open the rules of conversation during your personal time, well, then people are going to get back to you, and then you're going to feel the stress of, I need to work right now. And if you just make a simple rule and say, hey, it's the weekend, it's after 5, you let the people know I'll get back to you during working hours, everyone's totally fine with that.
Yeah, absolutely. I think too, if you're in a somewhat traditional business sense, it's totally okay to set normal business rules, right? Like I like to think of it, if I tried to call my dentist at 8 o'clock on a Friday, my dentist would not get back to me until Monday morning.
Exactly.
Right?
And you expect that.
Right. And I'm totally fine with it. I don't expect my dentist to answer or to get back to me. So, kind of take that rule for yourself. If you have a business that can function during a normal 9 to 5 expectation, then do that for yourself and stop allowing yourself, just because you're self-employed, saying, I make the rules. That means I can work whenever and I'll respond whenever and I'm going to check email whenever. That's not a healthy habit for you.
We talk about boundaries, and these aren't sometimes we talk about boundaries between you and your clients, but this is a boundary for yourself.
Absolutely.
You need to set this boundary because it will spiral out of control, and you will, you will just realize that you aren't in control of your schedule and that you are just falling at the whim, that your business is controlling you at that point.
Right.
And that is why you can't allow this to happen, because this is all about having a clear, calm headspace, is living your life every day happy-go-lucky. We're looking for this lifestyle.
Yeah.
And why would we subject ourselves to the opposite?
Right. Because ultimately, and I think this is the hardest lesson for us, is that we do this to ourselves, right? We think, oh, well, my client expects it. Or I know I've heard this a million times from self-employed people. Got to take the work when I have it, right? How many times have we said that to ourselves? And don't get me wrong, I totally understand that as a self-employed business owner, you're going to have ups and downs in your business. And when you can grab as much work as you can, you want to do that. But it doesn't mean that you bend all your rules, you forget all your boundaries, and that you're answering text messages from a client at the dinner table with your family. That's not appropriate. Right. And it's going to get in your head, right? So I think if you can set these kind of boundaries, for me, it was really hard. I used to wake up in the morning and check my email right away, literally in bed. What am I going to do about an email in my bed, right? All I'm going to do is read something, feel like I need to do it right away, create this sort of stress. And that's the way
you just stress yourself out in the only safe, the most safe space you're supposed to have. Now you feel like you need to just jump out of your skin and just pull your hair out and try to put out fires or whatever the situation may be. Even if it's a good email, you're not in the right headspace.
You're pulling yourself out of there mentally immediately. And we've learned over the last couple of years that through personal development, your morning time is super important, right? So if we can make these boundaries, for myself, I, use I think it's called the sleep mode or whatever it is on my iPhone, so that I don't get notified of things during certain times of day. So, I tell myself, okay, after, 8 o'clock, I'm not going to get notified of text messages. It'll be there if I want to check it. So I'm in control, but I'm not going to get interrupted from my day. Right. And it starts at a certain time in the morning. And then super important, I do not check emails on the weekend. Don't do it, guys. Don't do it.
Don't do it.
There's no reason to. So, if you set the boundaries, some people are a little nervous about that with clients. You can always set an autoresponder, on an email or on a text message that will let people know when you'll get back to them. And that's how you'll start to set those expectations and people will accept it.
Yeah, especially if you're a high volume business that is open 9 to 5 on the weekday. People already don't expect you to be there. Especially if you're, everything online tells the hours, your Google profile tells their hours. People don't expect you to get right back on these non-working times.
Absolutely. And something else that I think is important, that's kind of a side note on this, is that, as self-employed business owners, we know that people want to do business with real people, right? Yeah. And we're as real as it gets, us self-employed business owners, right, guys? So we're real people. And I think it shows a lot about you and who you are when you say, I value my family time and I don't work on the weekends. I think your clients will respect that in a way.
The crap out of you.
Absolutely. I think it says a lot about who you are and your values.
And your confidence.
Absolutely.
We'll touch on confidence in another episode, but it will show how confident you are to say, hey, listen, my work's my work, my life is my life, and right now it's lifetime. And people will respect that. And I don't think you'll find any complaints. So just to recap this quick win episode, guys, you need to stop working on the weekends. You need to take control of your schedule and stop doing any client correspondence when you're not supposed to be working. And you need to take time away from your business, recharge the batteries, get your creative brain going, breathe, step back, realize what inefficiencies you've had, and just let it out. Let whatever the crap from the work week is lingering, just recharge and refresh and start your week on a new, turning over a new leaf. And then just remember the root of this all is your goal is to create a better life, not just build a business.
I love it. Well, I hope you guys enjoy your weekend.
Thank you guys so much for watching. Please like, share, comment, and subscribe, and be sure to check out more of our videos and catch us on our podcast. Let's do it.